Hi guys, it's Sam from Creatively Sam's, and today I've made Easter dinner bells. If you want to see how I made this, stay tuned. It's coming up next. Okay, what you need is some flower pots. There are a 3-pack that I got from the Dollar Tree. And these are roughly 2.5 inches in diameter. So you can get them anywhere. They're definitely the cheapest at the Dollar Tree. A wooden doll head bead. This is a 1.5 inch. And you can see it's flat on one side so it lays nicely. And a wooden heart. Now, this is a thin one, and they're actually easier to work with when they're thin. This is about 1.5 inches wide, and you need 2 for each of your little creations. Let's see, you need paint. There's white, which I'm going to be giving the clay pot, the bead, and the hearts 2 coats. You need black. You need a pink. You need a blue. You don't need pink and blue. I'm a traditionalist. Pink for girls, blue for boys. But you do whatever color you want. You need a couple of pom-poms. Some jingle bells. Some upholstery thread. Some paintbrushes. You definitely need a very tiny detail brush. You need a small Easter decoration, whether it's a little basket or a peep or whatever you want. I'm using some small eggs that I had on hand. You need some felt, white and pink. And you need a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil or whatever to draw your pattern for the ears. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 coats of the paint on the flower pot, the bead, and the hearts. And I'm doing them white because it's a bunny, and the pot, oh, let's face it, I always base coat everything in white because I like the colors to be really, really true when I paint. So, I'll be back when I get that done. You also need a hot glue gun and the hot glue sticks. Okay, I got the 2 coats of the white paint on all of my pieces, and as they're drying, I'm going to take some of the upholstery thread, and I'm going to thread 2 of the jingle bells so that I can put them on the inside. Okay, I took a couple of 10-inch pieces of the upholstery thread, and I put them on the bells and staggered them and knotted them together. And I'm just going to feed them through the hole. I'm going to bring these up so that there's, let's see, so that they aren't touching the top, but they're not touching they're not hanging out either. So they're about halfway. And I'm going to put a dollop of glue and then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. And then I'll be clipping off the excess after it's completely dry. Okay, this one is dry. So I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to glue the little doll head on the top. And this is also going to help to seal the thread in a little better. And try to get that in the center. And there's the beginning. Okay, I'm going to start with the little girl, and I'm going to paint this pot pink, and we'll be setting that aside, and then I'll do the blue. And we'll put the details on after I get the pots all painted. Okay, now the hearts, all you want to do is take a little bit of the paint, and you're going to, this is actually the sleeve, and this is the little paw. So you're going to paint from here over, and then after it's dry, and you'll do it on this side, so that they're facing each other. But after they're dry, then you'll flip it over and do the other side. And you can see I already did the blue one. And I've done both sides. So we'll be back after I'm done with the pink. Okay, I got the little hearts all painted. And I know you're saying hearts as paws. It'll make sense when you see it. Okay, now I started sketching shapes to make ears. And this is going to be the pink part, and then it'll be a little bit bigger. So I think this one is about right for this. And I used an index card so that I've got the lines and I can get the width pretty good. And this is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to use it as a pattern, and I'm going to cut out the pink felt, and then you'll see what I'm going to do for the white afterwards. Okay, I cut this out, and I'm just taking a pencil and going around, and then I'm going to cut this out just inside the pencil lines. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back of the pink part, and put that on the white, and I'm going to make sure that I leave enough around so that I can make the ear just a little bit bigger. And I'll be back. Okay, now that that's all glued on, I'm just going to cut around it. And you can really make these any shape you want. You can make them long and bend them over. You can make them straight up. You can twist them up. However you want them, because these are your bunnies. Okay, all I'm going to do is put just a little bit of hot glue at the bottom. And try really hard not to burn myself again. I love doing these types of crafts, but I always end up burning myself, which is the worst thing. But I have fun doing this. This is something I don't see much of anymore, is the old-fashioned crafting. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this black, and I'm going to give this a little bunny a face. And I've got the darker shade of pink. It's this one here. And I'm just going to take one of my fatter paintbrushes and use the handle. And I know you've seen me do this before. When you do a face on these, you should try to keep the eyes towards the center, and it gives it a more whimsical look. And all I'm going to do is dip into the black. And you can make these bigger if you want. I'm just going to start with this size. And if I think I need them bigger, then I'll come back in and add more. And now for the nose, I'm going to use this pink with a smaller paintbrush. It's already starting to take on a little life of its own. And then this is the detail brush. And I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of the black. And you can use a toothpick for this too. And you just want the tiniest bit of paint on there, because you can always add more. You can always paint over this too if you screw up. And the boy, I want to give him a little stronger mouth, because she is going to have a little teeny tiny pink tongue. And I'm going to use the lighter shade of pink right there. Okay, before I do anything else, this is a little trick that I learned years ago when I used to do ceramics. There is some blush and a little brush. And this, doing it this way, actually gives it a slight pink blush without it being overdone. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I certainly can. And yes, he's going to have blushy cheeks too. Okay. Now that I have the cheeks done, I'm going to take a toothpick and some white paint. And I'm going to give the eyes the directional dots. And you can see what a difference those little dots make. It actually gives it a little life. And I think I will have them looking at each other. Okay, now I have to give these little guys some whiskers, and I'm going to use the toothpick for that also. And these are definitely taking shape. Okay, I got them done. I gave her little tiny eyelashes. And now to add their little arms. And what you want to do is you want to glue these to the side. As you can see, there looks like little paws sticking out, and there's their little elbows. And you just have to decide how you want them. You want them up, you want them down. That's up to you. And I like to hold these until they're totally dry, because I really don't want them sliding down the sides. Okay, I'm going to put the little pom-poms on the back side of both of them. And these could be done I'm going to put one of those little eggs in the center to make it look like they're holding them. And you can put anything in there if you want. I actually wish I had a little tiny basket. I think that would be absolutely adorable. I'm going to put this the opposite. So this one's leaning this way and this one's leaning this way. But technically, these are pretty much done. Dinner's ready. But you know me, I cannot leave well enough alone. So I made some little bows. And this is just a piece of ribbon that's been looped over and glued in place. And I have a little bead in the center. And I'm just going to give her a little hair bow. And he's going to get a little bow tie. And there's just a couple more things I want to add. He needs pants. And the easiest way that I know to do that is to add just a tiny bit of paint. So I've got this dark blue. And it's called military blue. So I'm going to put just a drop of the military blue there. And the original color that I had painted him is the baby blue. So I'll do a drop of that. And you've seen me do this 100 times by now. I'm going to double load a paintbrush. Wet the bristles just a little bit, and I'm going to come in with the baby blue and just a little tiny dot of the dark blue. And I'm just going to bring this paintbrush right down the center. Turn it over and blend that in just a little bit more. And I got his little pom-pom. Now I thought about adding a little bling to her, but I've decided to do just paint. And what I have is a skewer, and I'm going to take the flat end of it and I'm going to dip it in this darker pink, and I'm just going to give it little polka dots. And there's our little dinner bells, all done. Dinner's ready. And that is going to look so cute on our Easter table. So if you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and happy creating, everyone.